his childhood that caused chaos, laughter, and lasting memories. Working from the Pathways Interpersonal Communication Path. Please help me welcome John Rocky with Earth, also known as Egyptian Rat Scream.
Stuck in the back of a car for 9 days. 9 days of torture inside a Toyota Tercel, a wedge-shaped, sky blue hatchback car that we drove through ridiculous stuff, as much as a Jeep sometimes. My dad was a very good off-road driver, but we drove only on paved roads. Only on roads throughout the not-so-great state of Texas. 9 days zigzagging, making a star in the middle of this horrific state. I'm from New Mexico, and there's that state rivalry that John was talking about. We hate the Texans because they come to the mountains in New Mexico, they spend a ton of money, they make prices go up, and then they are horrible drivers and treat every bit of wait staff and people like crud. Well, that's a different card game I might teach you about. But today, I want you to harken back. Has anybody here not ever played a card game? Right? Everybody in here has playing cards at least once. Fortunes have been made, fortunes have been lost, friends have been made, friends have been lost, family has caused chaos and caused laughter with simple 52 plus some jokers cards. I invite you to open up these card decks. I would like them back because I collect playing card decks. And these are some of those from my childhood. And one of the games that we played the most is called Egyptian Rat Screw. It was originally named Egyptian Rat's Crew, but when kids get a hold of stuff, or adults with dirty minds, it becomes Egyptian Rat Screw. And apparently this game was formed at a random college on the East Coast, and it escaped in the early 90s. Now, has anybody in here played Egyptian Rat Screw before? Played Rat Screw? No. No? Okay. Well, today you're going to learn. Now, who's played the card game War before? Okay. You have 2 people, 1 person, people flip it out at the same time. Whoever has the higher card takes the cards. This is that, but way more complicated with as many people as you want to have play. The idea is you're trying to gather all of the cards from one deck. Now, you deal out the cards evenly to however many players there are. You choose in order however you want for one person to start. Rock, paper, scissors, nose goes, whatever it may be. You have a person start, and they flip out a card. If they flip out a card, or they'll flip one, and the next person, whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise, you decide that beforehand, they're going to flip out a card on top of that. Now, if that card is a 2 through a 10, nothing happens. It just keeps going. The next person goes, the next person goes, the next person goes. If you have the same card flipped out, so say 2 4s, the first person to slap the deck takes the cards. All right? If there's 1 or 2 cards in between those, the first person to slap the deck takes the cards. Little kids, this can get violent. This can get wild. But it teaches pattern recognition. It teaches counting. It figures out how you can predict other players. Now, the rule we had was you had to flip out. You can't flip up. Does that make a difference? Yeah. Because if I flip up and I know what's coming, I have a distinct advantage. If I'm flipping out, I have a slight disadvantage compared to everybody else who may see the card first. But then my hand's already out there. I can quickly slap them. So that's the balancing act. Now, the other cards that are weird are face cards. Now, if somebody's cruising around, say we're all playing around a giant metaphorical table, and Julie flips out a jack, flips out a face card. Now, Jason would have 1 chance to beat that face card. And you beat that face card by flipping out a different face card. What did you flip out there?
Queen of Diamonds.
Queen of Diamonds. The Queen would have done it because it's another face card. So once Jason flips out another face card, Queen of Diamonds, Tim would have 2 chances. So with Jacks you get 1 chance, Queens you get 2 chances, Kings you get 3 chances, and Aces you get 4 chances to beat it. And you beat it with any other face card. So Tim, what would you have pulled?
King.
King. All right. Bill, you would have had 3 chances to beat it. 10, didn't make it. What's your next card? And Joker? Yeah, Joker will count for this. You don't normally pull the Jokers out. What's your next card here? One more. Nope, still, so 3 tries, he didn't make it. So Tim, because he had the face card, would have been able to pull the whole pile and take the pile in. Now you have to take the pile and put it on the bottom of your stack. It's cheating and you can catch people, they put it on the top of their stack. Now, a jack is the most valuable card because the next person only has 1 try to get it. Now, if you run out of cards, you're still in the game. You're not out. You can slap in whenever you get the chance. All right? Now, if you slap and there isn't a pair of cards or 1 or 2 cards in between, then if you have cards, you have to burn 2 cards and put them on the bottom of the pile. So you lose some cards. But if you have no cards in your hand and you slap, there's no penalty. So the people on the periphery that don't have cards, as everybody else is flipping and worried and anxious and going up, they are causing chaos, and sometimes the cards fly like that. Sometimes some fights can happen.
Hands get broken.
Hands get broken. I think the worst instance we had a woman who had a very large fake ring, and she spun it around on her hand. She was up for blood. And when it went and stuck in the top of another kid's hand, we made a rule: no jewelry. He cried, she laughed, we all laughed at him and her, and we banned her for the next day of playing the game, because that was just too much. This can be a very amusing game. It can cause so much uproarious hilarity, and you can cause chaos at any time by just slapping the deck. And everybody freaks out, and you just burn 2 cards. It doesn't even matter. It's a game. But the idea that you can create community with a game, I think is very important. You can create this camaraderie around something that we aren't talking about serious issues. We're not focusing on the outside world. Everybody is present in that moment. Around, as a group, focused on these weird little pieces of paper with some printing on. This super simple thing that's been around for thousands of years. We have cards that have gone back forever. Different board games, different games of chance. Because there's no way, without a lot of thinking and mental math, to know what's coming next. What's nice about this game is you can. You can predict the future. You can memorize what cards people have. So if I see there's a pile here, we have a king and a jack. There's only 4 jacks in the deck. There's only 4 kings in the deck. And say Amy took this pile. I know that her second to last card in her pile is the jack. That's the card I want the most. So if a jack gets played, even if it's kind of just on chance, you see it. Oftentimes people just slap because there's a good chance that there's 1 or 2 cards below it that might pair up. This game can be a lot of fun, and it's fairly simple. You can make it much more complicated with house rules. To help with numbers and number recognition, especially for younger kids, you can have, instead of it just being the same card that you can slap on, or 1 or 2 cards in between, you can do 1 number up or 1 number down. So a 5 and a 6, you can slap on that. A 2 and a 3, you can slap on that. Learning which way numbers can move. This can get kids to imagine numbers in their heads. This can enable kids to think about math, think about probability, because they are estimating, okay, I'm down to like 5 cards, or 4 cards. What am I going to do next? Am I going to go out? My brain go, I know I have, let's see, I have a jack in here. I know it's coming. And all of a sudden, James plays an ace. I have 4 tries to beat an ace. 1, 2, 3, I have a jack. And you can play. You can memorize doubles. This is an excellent tool for helping kids realize their potential and maybe make math a little bit more fun. Counting numbers a little more fun. Overall, Egyptian rat screw, kind of a crass name for something, which for like an 8-year-old kid, that's the perfect thing. It's not really a cuss word. It's, you're screwing something in, it's a screwdriver.
Yeah.
They laugh at the screwdriver. It's fine. And it's not going to cause a bunch of chaos, but it can in a fun way. So I invite you, if you have games like this that you grew up with, share them. Don't let them pass off into the night. A lot of us played Mario growing up, and we remember that nose. You see your character fly off a cliff or get eaten by whatever, Venus flytrap creature blowing fireballs at you. Those elements of our childhood are still relevant. They are ways that we bonded. You learn from your brother, I learned from my brother. I learned how to be as quiet as possible as we are slapping on decks in the back and try not to have my dad reach back and do the claw. And that game got banned like 7 times over 9 days, minimum, and we kept playing. It was great. Go out, have fun, teach these legacy things, and keep your gaming spirit alive.